Good afternoon, everyone. It's a little after 2:30 on Wednesday, the last day of July 2024. Mark has been reading through the first book in the Bible, in Genesis. Today we're ready for Genesis 33. This is the account of the meeting between Jacob and Esau after the years of conflict between the two of them. And we notice that he bowed down to the ground 7 times towards his brother, and Esau ran and met him, and we see that he embraced him and kissed him, and they wept. So there was sort of a reconciliation between Esau and his brother. And Jacob had agreed to give him some things, and Esau said he had enough. And so anyway, Esau asked him to let him leave, and that he agreed to leave some of the folks that were with him. And so Esau returned that day on his way into Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and he built himself a house and made booths for his cattle. So the name of that place now is called Succoth. And Jacob ended up buying a parcel of field, and he also erected an altar called Elohe Israel. So what can we learn from this? Even if you have confrontations with relatives, even though they might have turned your back on them, we should always be ready for reconciliation. The Bible tells us to love our enemies, to do good to those that persecute us and despitefully use us, and say all manner of evil against us. So I'll turn this over to Mark, have him read this, and then we'll probably continue this tomorrow in chapter 34. We'll see what happens about that.
Genesis chapter 33. Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came with him 400 men. He divided the children unto Leah, unto Rachel, and unto 2 handmaids, and put the handmaids and her children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. He passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. He lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children, and said, Who are those with thee? And he said, The children which God hath graciously given my servant. Then the handmaids came near, they and their children, they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. After came Joseph near, and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. He said, What meanest thou by all this drove which I met? And he said, These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. Esau said, I have enough, my brother, keep that thou hast unto thyself. And Jacob said, Nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand, for therefore I have seen thy face. And so I had seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me. Esau met. And Jacob said, Nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, and receive my present at my hand, for therefore I have seen thy face, as though I had seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God has dealt graciously with me, because I have enough. And he urged him, he took it. He said, Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee. He said unto him, My Lord knoweth that children are tender in the flocks and herds, with young or with me, and if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant. I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure, until I come unto my Lord unto Seir. And Esau said, Let me now leave with these some of the folks that are with me. And he said, What needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built him a house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place was called Succoth. Jacob came to Shalem, the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan. He came from Pandaram and pitched his tent before the city. And he bought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent, to hand the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. He erected there an altar and called it Eli Israel.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll begin chapter 34 tomorrow.